Good evening, I'm Mitch Friedman, and welcome to Mind Over Matter TV, where we like to teach you and show you and help you find different modalities, techniques, and tools, and even sometimes tricks for you to overcome the obstacles in your life, to really feel better, and to help you reach your personal goals. So welcome to the show, and I'm really excited about the show tonight. A couple of weeks ago, I showed an old show that I did on the Mayan calendar, and it was kind of a setup for tonight because we've got Howard Cooper back. Welcome to the show, Howard.
Thank you, Mitch. It's lovely to be here.
Yeah, I'm really excited because now all this stuff is kind of starting to happen. Last time when you were on the show, we talked about moving into the last night of the Mayan calendar on March 8th of this year. It was the universal underworld, if I remember correctly.
That's right.
And it's been really exciting and it's been really fun, and I see things are already starting to shift and change and happen, so I'm excited about talking about it. And we talked about, I'm just going to jump right in here because I've got lots of stuff I want to ask you, and I know people have a lot of questions about it.
Let's do it.
Okay, so again, Howard Cooper, astrologer and spiritual counselor, and he's been studying the Mayan calendar for years. And last time we talked about, moving into this last day, and at the end of the calendar, according to Kaliman, was October 28th of 2011.
Right.
And I know since then I've been reading a little bit about it myself and Googling it, and there's other people that are saying, I believe it's December 21st, 2012, which the movies are about 2012, and all over the place it's about 2012. So can you help us out here? What's the end of the calendar?
Sure. Well, those are two different models for the end of the Mayan calendar, and the one that most people are embracing is the one that most of us have been hearing about over and over, and that's December 21st, 2012, which is the winter solstice of 2012. And there are already celebrations being planned and meditations and prayer vigils and all those kinds of things for that particular date. So obviously that's going to be a big day because millions of people from all around the world are going to be gathering and praying for our enlightenment and our salvation and for this beautiful planet we live on. So, that seems to be the major portal, so to speak, for the end time of the Mayan calendar. But the October 28th, 2011 date is the Carl Kaliman template for the end of the Mayan calendar. And I actually resonate with what research he has done and what he has written about that as being the end date. But one of the things that I really want to emphasize is that I don't think we should be getting in a big argument over the end date, the actual date. The point really that we're trying to make here is that as a species we are reaching an omega point, a transformation point, and it is right in front of our face. And we could actually embrace this idea that the calendar has already ended and it's time for us to sort of get on with it, so to speak, and start changing and making the changes we need to make on this planet to save the planet and to save the species and to move into more of an enlightened state. And to me, that's what's really important. This final underworld of the Mayan calendar is the universal underworld, and we're supposed to be moving into a state of unity consciousness. So let's get together and do that. Let's unify. Everybody that's having a difficult experience is having it for a reason, and it's always an opportunity for growth and transformation. And we all need to remember that and not get into these sort of panic, oh my God, this is the worst thing that's ever happened state. Because people are having their own individual experience and they're having it for a particular reason.
So with all that being said, what does the end of the calendar actually mean? Whether it's in October, whether it's next December, what does it actually mean?
Well, I'm glad you asked that because the focus, again, in the media is all around prophecy and what big dramatic thing is going to occur, if it's going to be the end of the world or we're all going to go into some state of bliss and ascend into another dimension. And either of those things could happen, and probably both those things will happen for different people. It'll be all depending on where you're at in your particular process, the experience you have. But what the end of the Mayan calendar really represents is the fact that all of the quantum enhancements to our field of energy that we're existing in will have finally taken place. There will be no additional energy that supports us in moving into a state of unity. The unified field will have been delivered, so to speak, and that will be what the end of the calendar is actually about, that we have all the support that we're going to be getting.
So we've got all the tools. What are we going to do with them?
Right, right, exactly. And so, there's a lot of different ideas about what then might occur, but if we want to just be real pragmatic and real practical and not get all dramatic and go into some extreme vision of what might occur, it probably will represent that from that point forward, we start to need to really get busy and make the changes we need to make in order to save our Earth and save our species, so to speak. And another way of saying that is we move into a place of unity around the idea that we need to be good caretakers of this planet we live on, because she is our mother and she gives us everything we need, and she needs to be loved and respected. And then beyond that, the piece that we need to love and respect one another and take care of one another as well. And to me, that would represent enlightenment from the vantage point where we're at right now, where we as a group, as a species, realize that that's what is the most important thing that needs to occur on the planet, that we need to love our planet and we need to love one another.
So what can we do as humanity to, I guess loving each other would start with loving ourselves, and that would probably help with that. But in terms of loving the planet and something we could be proactive in, whether it's passive or not passive, or we're actually doing something, what can we do?
I think first and foremost, everybody should take time out each day to be quiet and get connected to the ground underneath their feet. I think being connected to the earth is going to be the most helpful thing that any of us can do, is to actually feel the ground underneath our feet. Being grounded is going to be the most helpful thing. There's going to be lots of reasons for us to be feeling very ungrounded. So if you can go sit on the ground or lay on the ground, that's a wonderful thing to do for yourself and do for the earth. You can just lay on the earth and love her, and that will be very, very helpful to you and to the earth, and it will ground these new frequencies more readily. I don't think that we can overstate how important it is to be grounded. And so many people have never been really grounded, and that's something that they can work on, as being more grounded. And I know that sounds really elementary, but once you experience real groundedness and start feeling a real connection to the earth in your heart and in your soul and in your physical body, all of a sudden a lot of these words start meaning something much more deeply than they did before.
I've always known there was something coming, that in my lifetime that something really big was going to be happening, and I know there's been all kinds of talks about disasters and the end of the world and all that stuff, but I've always sort of set it up that no matter what's going on and no matter what it is, that I was going to find a way to feel really good inside. Like I was going to be okay no matter what was going on. And it seems like that's kind of where we're at right now, that
we're obviously all going to have to address our personal issues. And if we resist addressing our personal issues and putting energy into healing those personal issues, they are going to cause lots of problems for us. Each and every one of us has the capacity to address what's going on inside of ourselves. We can do what we need to do to change ourselves, but we can't change other people. And so first and foremost, our responsibility is to raise our own vibration or clear our own space, so to speak, so we can receive a higher vibration, so we can vibrate at a higher frequency, so we can integrate these quantum enhancements that are occurring in our energy field via the Mayan calendar. And so, you know, I know we all get a little frustrated thinking, oh, there's more I should be doing or could be doing to you know, do my part in this planetary transformation. And of course, there's always going to be some truth in that, but the biggest contribution any of us make is the energy that we actually emit from our beingness, because that goes into the collective pool, and the collective pool represents where humanity is at energetically. So when we raise our frequency, we're making a great contribution to what's going on the planet, because it makes it easier for the next person to raise his or her frequency.
That 100, it always keeps coming back to that 101 monkey thing.
Well, and it does, and it's real interesting, because in these times when there's so much going on, and there's so much going on inside of each and every one of us concerning our own personal issues, it's so easy to get distracted and to think that we need to do something big and heroic to help create this change. And really, we just need to pay attention to the quality of our own energy and keep working with that in as constructive and purposeful way as possible, because that's the energy contribution we're all making to the collective energy. And the more we raise our vibration, the more we impact the collective in a positive way. Now, I'd like to talk just a little bit about the fact that we are in this final underworld of the Mayan calendar, and with the advent of each new underworld, there's an acceleration times 20. And so everybody's feeling the speed up and the intensity of this speed up in a pretty palpable way. And I would like to share with everybody the fact that the things that are difficult are going to feel 20 times more difficult, and the things that feel great are going to feel 20 times more great. So we're going to be experiencing extremes, and we don't want to overreact to that. I mean, it'll be so easy to sort of collapse into, oh my God, everything is a disaster, or oh my God, you know, this state of bliss is so divine, it'll last forever. And then 5 minutes later, when it's gone, you think, what is going on with me? You know, the pendulum is just swinging back and forth and back and forth and back and forth from difficult to ecstatic. And I think that's the norm here that we're going to have to get used to, is the fact that there's an intensification of feeling, an intensification of thought, an intensification of in all our experiences. And the more we can sort of be okay with that and chill and observe it and not go into states of extreme reaction, the better we're going to do with it all.